Do not let the sunshine and blue skies fool you. It is freezing outside. And what makes it feel even colder is 2 days ago it was 60 degrees and I was stacking wood in shorts. And today I'm wearing I got my 2 coats on again. This is a system I've come up with because when you deliver wood, you don't know, is it going to rain, is it going to snow, are you going to get all wet? So I got my 2 coats on the layered theory, but the one underneath is that waterproof kind of thing. You know, if it does rain, the water runs off, and then I don't have to wear it on the way home. I can just drape it over the seat and it dries off pretty quick. Today we have a delivery and it requires the wheelbarrow. And this is an example of flexibility on my end, and you know, I got to get this headache rack put on the truck. I already have it sourced. I already got the people that will be putting it on. I had a load of oak, and I have it in the other truck. That was to have been delivered today. Well, that company called and they're doing some work around the wood shed, I guess, the area they stack their wood, and I can't get to it. So I was like, okay, I'll just take my other truck on this other delivery. Well, I just remembered what was going on when I threw my wheelbarrow up on top was, oh my gosh, it's gonna break the window. But I got it strapped down. I have it wedged so that I hope it doesn't come forward if I have to do a panic stop. But these are the things. This truck, I'm getting it lettered, but we can't do it really in the winter time. The guy that does my lettering, you know, does it outside. And then the headache rack, so I got to get that put on too. Today, I thought you guys could come along for the delivery, and I'll do my best to show you what I'm doing, but it's just me today, and I don't use a tripod, except when I'm driving down the road. And I'll try to get you some sights and flavor of Northeast Ohio on this trip. How's that sound? All right, guys, here we go. This is a lake I drive across. This is Lake Ladue. We're just heading on down the road to this delivery. It's a little bit out of my area, but they take care of me, so I take care of them. And I am here. I just noticed that's a willow tree starting to bud. It is freezing out here still, but we got the world's greatest wheelbarrow, and I got some seasoned wood we're going to be stacking. This is kind of like a restaurant that has a fireplace in it, and they only use it when it's cold, which it is right now, but you know, this will probably be their last delivery until in the fall. They do have a pizza oven, but they didn't use it last year, and that's always on the discussion if they're going to be using that pizza oven. So let me get this wheelbarrow. I'm doing this all by myself. This is a job I usually bring my high school help, but the schedule kind of got mixed up this week. So this stuff is just going to get stacked, and then I'll check in with you as we're making progress. I am moving right along, but we brought the wheelbarrow because this place wants me to stack it for them. Stacking is a service, and I charge accordingly. Now, I use these smaller trucks, and what's nice about these and the way that we use this unloader, when I have to use the wheelbarrow, I will charge, of course. When I can just back straight up to the wood rack, there's no charge for that. I just pull it right off the tailgate right onto the rack. It's kind of like a service. When there's questions about wheelbarrows, whenever I take an order, I'll ask, you know, do you want this stacked, or are we putting it on the driveway? And then if they want it stacked, I ask where it's at, if I can back the truck right up to it. Especially in the summertime when the ground's firm, and they're comfortable with me driving across the yard, we'll do it. But if it needs wheelbarrowing, I will charge for that. But I also have to schedule around that because it, you know, doubles your time while you're on site. And you got to take some extra care that you're not tearing up the flower garden or the mulch bed and stuff. Some people are very fussy when it comes to this kind of stuff. But it also helps to have the world's greatest wheelbarrow And that is also something I'm sensitive to. When you are delivering and using a wheelbarrow, I think it pays to have a new wheelbarrow. It doesn't have to be the most expensive one out there, but I think it needs to look nice because you're presenting an image and you are on stage when you show up. Your truck should look nice, and your uniforms, you know, the attitude that you have, the way that you're polite and courteous to your customer. And when you stack the wood, you better stack it like a boss. When we stack wood, it looks awesome. That whole front face looks like one piece of glass. You know, it's just perfectly stacked because they're paying for it. We're going to give them their money's worth, definitely. So I am still getting the wheelbarrow loaded up and we're running laps. And then as soon as I get all the wood pulled away from the wheel wells, I can crank it out with this unloader. Boy, that thing nice. Here we go. I kind of find some of this exciting. We're deep into the pile, but you know, we're running into ice still. But this is elm, this is cherry, and we're getting them a nice cross section of woods. This wood is not for cooking over, but you know, we got a nice cross section of hardwoods here. And I have never found elm, you know, it's kind of smells bad when you're cutting it, but the wood smoke and stuff, seems like it's fine to me, but definitely cherry. But here we are deep into the ice still. This has just been one of these winters, guys. I mean, I wonder what makes me think this wood could possibly be elm. Did I ever tell you about this one boss that I had? Sometimes I just can't help it. I go for a world's record on how much you can put into a 6 cubic foot wheelbarrow. And I got this piece of hickory. It's tough stuff, so I just build up the front end just to be able to get some more on it. And when you have the world's greatest wheelbarrow, you can take chances like this. And we are done. I put the wheelbarrow back in. I got my strap. I just threw that back here. This is the new truck with that locking rear end. My other truck, that strap, I kept it tied onto the bumper and tucked inside the grill. I just would leave it there, especially on those winters with the big snows. It would get stuck everywhere. I just left the strap there in case I found someone to help me get pulled out. Made things easier. So we are done with this delivery. I still got to go inside and get the check. Every place that you deal with commercial deliveries are different. I got to get this strapped up too before I leave. I got these Velcro straps that keep that from flapping as I drive down the road. But every commercial account is different. Every restaurant's different. Some restaurants want 30 days net. So you give them the invoice. It might be like a chain type of restaurant and they mail the invoice to their home office, which could be in, I don't know, Nevada. And then you'll get the check in the mail within 30 days. That's the agreement. Some pay on delivery, and that's what this place is. They'll write me a check, and then I will take that right to the bank. And that's one of my favorite things about selling firewood, is cashing all the checks. Okay, but let me go in and I'll get the check, and then we'll wrap this job up, guys. And I am back with the check, and you start delivery. I had 2 coats on, and then off comes the one coat, then the next. And you know, I got my long sleeve shirt on. It worked out nice. I keep a t-shirt underneath because I'm an ex-ball player from the 80s. This was before the invention of tech gear, so old habits die hard. But I hate driving in a sweaty shirt, you know, and you really sweat. Even in these coldest days like this, you work up a sweat, especially wheelbarrowing. So I have a second shirt I change into and just get the sweaty shirt gone. And then my company shirt is still dry on top, so I can go on to the next delivery if it's a 2-load delivery. So that's how I do it. I think it pays to be self-sufficient, though. You should always have your own water. You should have your own snacks if you get hungry when you're out. Muck boots, I would have brought those along if I didn't know what type of delivery this was. Sometimes if you have to wheelbarrow at a different location at a time of the year you're not real familiar with, it might be a super wet ground and you get your shoes and socks wet, and that could be problems, you know, for the remainder of your day. So whenever I don't know where I'm going to, I'll take my muck boots with me, and definitely a change of clothes sunglasses, and the like. Just want to be prepared when you're out on a delivery. What was going through my mind with this delivery was, when we think of firewood, I think a lot of times we just think about the wood and what the wood is actually worth. And yes, the wood is important, especially with value-added firewood. I hope that you are the highest priced firewood service in your area, and you command that type of presence when you show up, because your wood is awesome. It's seasoned. Your firewood delivery service is world class. You go the extra mile. You take credit cards, all of the things that you can do to separate yourself from everyone else in your area, in what you can command such a high price for your firewood, and hopefully make yourself a self-sustaining business. But it seems, though, that a lot of times we get hung up on it's just firewood. And I hate it when I hear people say that. It is not just firewood. You know, firewood's a commodity just like anything else that's out there. If you spend more time with it, if you process it, if you refine it, it makes the price go up. It makes your price go up. Well, the same thing when you throw in a world-class delivery service. That also makes your price go up. And when you think of what people are paying for in firewood, it's not just the wood, it's the service, especially commercial accounts like this. They don't want to deal with people that are unreliable, that are cash only, that don't have professional invoices, and the wood's no good, you know, on top of everything else. So in my eyes, it is not just the wood, it's everything that you do. It's your image, it's the product you deliver, and it's how you deliver it. Just jumped inside the truck because I was starting to shiver out there. It's just funny. I started off this morning freezing to death. I had to wear 2 coats. Then I work up a sweat wheelbarrowing wood, and now my shirt's sweaty, and I was standing outside talking to you, and I started shivering because it was getting too cold. So I've jumped inside the truck here to just finish up some thoughts about firewood, guys. To me, it is not just the product. It is not just the firewood, although that is very important. Let's be real. But holy cow, the delivery service, the model of it, your appearance, your image, all of these things conspire to determine how much money you can command for a service. And that is what is missed, in my opinion, a lot with firewood, is that it is a service. And maybe if we spent more time cleaning up the service side of it, we could get more money for the firewood side, right? At least for me, I do not have local pickup. I am delivery only. I see no reason to have local pickup for firewood. There's no reason why I should be selling my firewood cheap. And delivering my firewood practically doubles how much it costs. And that's simply because of the market that I am going after. My customers are the types of customers that don't want full cords. They want smaller quantities. And this point, too, is also discussed on our podcast, The Woodhounds. If you haven't listened to The Woodhounds, we are on every major streaming service, and we have a new episode that comes out every Wednesday. But all of our back episodes are on there, and you can listen to it as much as you want. We have been growing. You know, we're into the 3rd year, and it's been a lot of fun, but we can go into deeper discussions about the firewood industry on the podcast that you can't here with a YouTube video. On the podcast, we were talking about one of the ways to find a market that's not being met in your area. And I propose that you get on to your Facebook users groups for whatever industry you're in. It could be lawn care, landscaping, computer repair, anything. And sit back and read the comments and look and listen to what people are complaining about. And when you go onto these firewood groups, man, people complain about the customer. The customer wants this. The customer wants that. The customer wanted it stacked. The customer wanted a 1/4 cord. I have a 2 cord minimum. When I hear that type of complaining, what does that mean when someone's complaining? It means nothing's being done about it. So to me, that means there's a market. There is a need out there that's not being met. Maybe you could be that firewood service that goes after such a thing. So those are just some thoughts about the firewood industry, guys. It is not just about the firewood. The delivery model is a big deal. And at least for me, it's a lot of fun because I'm not sitting in a cubicle anymore. Although there are some days where that's not looking too bad, but you know, you take the good with the bad. But holy cow, a bad day delivering firewood is better than a good day in the office any day. Okay, so that's all I got for you today, guys. Just a simple delivery. But no delivery is simple. I think it is an opportunity for you to knock it out of the park, guys. All right. I hope everyone has a great day.